Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Dose, and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. We're nearing the end of the FIFA World Cup, only 4 teams left, which means there's only 4 games left. There's the two semi-finals today and tomorrow. There's a third place game on Saturday, and the final on Sunday to crown a new 2026 FIFA World Cup champion. This will be the 23rd final in the tournament's history, and there will be no new winners this year. Spain and England both have one FIFA World Cup each. France has two, and Argentina has three, the latest being in 2022, 4 years ago, the reigning defending champions. It's pretty funny how the four top ranked teams in the world are the 4 teams left standing, but I guess in a way, the expansion of the tournament to 48 teams, in a way, facilitates easier routes for the best teams, which is how it is in most sports these days. Anyway, we have number 2 France versus number 3 ranked Spain today, and then number 1 ranked Argentina takes on number 4 ranked England tomorrow. As for how each team fared in their quarterfinal match to get to the semis, they all had very different wins. Starting with France, they just look absolutely frightening. You can pretty much consider them the favorite in any game they play at this tournament. And it's not even because of the entire team or the coach or anything like that. It's just the attack is so potent, it's actually unfair. You have the top scorer in La Liga, Mbappe, the player of the year in the Bundesliga, Olise, and the current Ballon d'Or holder, Dembele. It's actually really not fair. They played Morocco in the quarterfinals, and I actually had Morocco winning it, and maybe I was being a bit delusional, especially with the absence of their striker, Saibari, but France was just too much, winning it 2-0. They controlled the game from start to finish. Morocco just stood no chance. Despite Mbappe missing a penalty early on, he made amends by absolutely lacing one to the far post with perfect placement. Bono, who was having a great game up to that point, was left stranded. Dembele then secured the second, and France win total control. Mbappe even got an early rest, looking forward to the semi-final matchup against either Belgium or Spain, who played the day after. So going on to Spain, on the other hand, who are in the semi-final with France, they were made to work very hard for their win against Belgium. Belgium set up well, continuously sending 2 and sometimes 3 bodies at Lamine Yamal. Pedri was benched for Fabian Ruiz, and coach De La Fuentes was justified in his decision, with Ruiz scoring the opening goal for the Spaniards after a shot from Olmo was saved but fell into his path, and it was later cancelled out by Belgium's number 9 De Ketelaere with a sublime header to make it 1-1. The game saw Belgium sit back for most of the second half, soaking up as much pressure as they possibly could, despite their attacking substitutions. Having been the first team to score against Spain for the entire World Cup, you'd think they pushed for another, but they really just sat back. Courtois, the keeper, came off with an injury, and Lamens of Manchester United subsequently came on. But it was Spain's super sub Mikel Merino who came on to hammer home a Lamens mistake as he fumbled Kubasi's strike on goal. Another goal off the bench, as he's proving to be critical and vital to the Spain side. 2-1 was the final score that has set up an absolute monster clash between two European heavyweights. Predicting the match, as a Spanish fan, I'm absolutely going to pick Spain, but I'm extremely worried. I'd be lying to you if I wasn't extremely worried. Yes, they have only conceded 1 goal, but Spain's possession-based tactics makes it hard for me to believe that at some point they're not going to lose possession, especially in the midfield areas. And I'm thinking that Pedri has to come back in to provide some added stability. But if Pedro Porro could barely handle Belgium's Doku, he is not going to stand a chance against Mbappe. Mbappe just looks like a man on a mission, and he has scored in every game he's played in except one, and in the one he didn't score in, he had 2 assists. I'm hoping and praying that Spain can control large portions of the game and prevent France's midfield from feeding their superstar. But in all honesty, a Spanish win is going to live and die with Lamine Yamal. He's been talking absolutely crazy these days, saying things like France should fear him and they beat them already, so if anyone could beat them, it's Spain. He just turned 19, and even I am quite baffled by his confidence, or some might say his overconfidence. But he's going to have an outer body experience, in my opinion, to overcome the French. I'm sure they've just been listening to him and can't wait to face him. If anyone can back it up, though, it's Lamine. Sometimes you just want to tell him, bro, chill. Like, you don't have to do it. Just chill. These are the best players in the world you are challenging, a literal super team, and you haven't been playing your best football up to this moment. And you don't want to give this beast of a team any added information, any added motivation to beat you. Like, so just chill. I know you're 19, you have all the confidence in the world, you back it up. It's already going to be a difficult game. I'm really nervous, but just chill. Like, just relax on the talking a little bit. You could do it. I know you can. You talked before and you backed it up before. But what's going to happen today is just going to happen anyway. So I think we should just all enjoy the spectacle that the game is going to be. Two of the best teams of this era going head to head. I can't wait, but I also very much could wait. I have Spain winning the game 3-2. Again, a Lamine Yamal masterclass today because I think France will play more open, play to their strengths, play their game, which will allow Lamine Yamal more space to exploit and punish Digne and France to a greater extent. I hope. The data and statistics has this game as a coin flip. I believe the expected goals conceded for both France and Spain is about the same, and the expected goals to score for both France and Spain is about the same, but they by 0.01 for expected goals scored, which I don't know how, is in Spain's favor. So just imagine it's a coin flip, but Spain is tails and France is heads, and tails never fails. So let's go Spain. They got this. Come on, Lamine. So in the next game, the Wednesday game between Argentina and England in Atlanta, I would consider it also to be a coin flip. In Argentina's quarterfinal game, they absolutely struggled against Switzerland. Switzerland played the better half of the second half and extra time with 10 men. It was one of those games where Argentina scored early through Alexis McAllister with Messi assisting off a corner, and then they just sat back. Every time they score early, they always sit back and invite pressure, which I'm confused about. I'm not quite sure why they do that. And the counter attack is never, at least when they score first, the counter attack is never lethal when they score first. Right? They just sat back and allowed Switzerland to run all over them. Mbolo got into early back and forth with Paredes, with the former receiving his first yellow card for a cynical challenge on the Argentine after Paredes riled him up with a challenge of his own. Switzerland then came out the better team and eventually scored with a well-worked goal after Argentina began conceding chance after chance, and Ndoye scored a beauty into the far corner. Less than 2 minutes later, though, Embolo seemed to make the worst mistake of his life if you let him tell it. He preempted a tackle from Paredes and without any contact threw himself to the ground and proceeded to roll over several times in pain. The referee, who was temporarily fooled, brandished a yellow card to Paredes, much to his dismay, Paredes that is. But then VAR called the referee to the monitor to have a look at the incident. And there was Mbolo diving like he was in the Olympics, putting on an absolute show. It looked quite comical and so stupid he let his whole country down with the stunt he just pulled there. The referee, having recognized Mbolo, tried to pull wool over his eyes, retracted the card shown to Paredes, and delivered Mbolo his second yellow card and subsequent red, giving him his marching orders. Mbolo couldn't believe what was happening. I don't know why he couldn't. The man dived. And then he started crying. I was like, bro, what you crying for? I mean, I know he was crying because he probably thinking, what did I just do? I just shot my team in the foot. He basically ruined the game for me. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but he ruined the game for me because I felt like Switzerland were in the ascendancy and now they were down to 10 men. But honestly, it didn't look that way for the rest of the game. Like, being brutally honest. Switzerland defended resolutely well into extra time, with Argentina looking so tired it was honestly a hard watch. Messi again looked his age, but he was receiving no help from the rest of his team, which was honestly such a shame. However, 8 minutes from the end of extra time, Julian Alvarez finally arrived to the World Cup, hitting an absolute belter into the top corner before Lautaro Martinez added another in injury time, when Switzerland were chasing the game, that is. Alvarez must finally feel like a massive weight just came off his shoulders there. And what a time to do it. When Argentina absolutely needed to have it, he stepped up in a big way, despite playing a very mediocre game up to that point by his standards. Argentina again lived to see another day. The dream of a back to back champion lives on, and something we haven't seen in the World Cup since Brazil did it in 58 and 62, so just about over 60 years, could be on the cards to still happen. Quite remarkable they have an opportunity to create history this century by going back to back. England's game also took extra time to determine a winner, but they look more convincing, much more convincing than Argentina. Norway proved to be a formidable opponent like everyone thought they were going to be. Despite Haaland looking as though his head wasn't in the game, he was barely involved, and for me, he honestly looked a bit lethargic and under the weather. I thought he looked like he had the cold, he was a bit sick. He never looked like scoring and truly barely even had any opportunities to get himself on the score sheet. Quite disappointing from what we have come to expect from the massive striker, but maybe I'm not giving England enough credit. Jude Bellingham, Judy, he just looks to be the best midfielder in the tournament. I think he's having a campaign, in my opinion, very similar to that of Zinedine Zidane in 2006. He single handedly is carrying England, and every time they take the pitch against a team, he looks far and away the best player on the park. And he's only 23, imagine that, at the age of 23. But Norway took the lead in this game through a cross that turned out to be a shot in the end, if you ask the goal scorer, Schlotterup. Hope that I'm not butchering his name, but he definitely tell you it was a strike. But we all could see from watching it, it was a cross intended for Haaland, but one that just ended up in the top corner. And fair play to him, it looked great. But just before halftime, a goal kick from Pickford seemed to hit the sky camera. Nobody saw it on the television, but some of the Norway players were complaining about it. Like the ball, when Pickford kicked the goal kick, it actually hit the sky camera, the camera that traverses the whole field, giving us a clear view of the entire pitch. And it fell to Anthony Gordon, who, you know what Anthony Gordon is on. He darted straight for the Norwegian box before crossing the ball for Bellingham, who beat two players and slid the ball past the goalkeeper to make it 1-1 going into halftime. A much needed goal, but a controversial one at that, because the camera altered the trajectory of the ball. The game made it all the way to extra time without any action, aside from a Norwegian goal being ruled out for a foul within the box. I think one of the Norwegian players pushed down an English player in the box. But 3 minutes into extra time, Rogers' swerving shot was spilled by the keeper, and who else was there but Jude Bellingham to clean it up and secure his side the win. England held on for the rest of the game, something they've been accustomed to in their game against Mexico and then in this game against Norway, defending resolutely and ensuring that they secured a spot against the reigning defending champions in the semi-finals. I, however, have Argentina winning this game. El Miércoles. Argentina, I believe, have long to play aside in this World Cup that they can counter-attack against. I believe England will have most of the ball, but will not be clinical enough to take their chances when they can. I'm a bit skeptical about Anthony Gordon versus Molina, but I believe Argentina will do enough to neutralize England's threats on the field, particularly by putting Paredes, who has been outstanding, in my opinion, since being inserted into the starting lineup. I believe it was 2 games ago. I think they have to put him on Bellingham. I think Messi has reserved most of his energy for these 2 remaining games against what will be a very formidable opposition. And I don't believe England will have any answer for the little man. I believe in England, despite them not having any answer for the little man. I do believe in England. I do think they will put up a fight, but I have Argentina winning this one 2-1 in regular time. This, I promise, will be one of the great games of the World Cup, as both teams are going to put their life on the line for a chance at World Cup glory, for a chance at World Cup glory on Sunday. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Make sure to drop in the comments who you'll have winning, losing, and moving on onto the finals of the World Cup. Tell me if you guys have England or if y'all have Argentina. Tell me if y'all think Spain is going to beat France or if France is just too good for everybody. All right, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, hype, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.